Okay, I guess we're good now. Interesting. Um, yeah. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from across the nations of the earth, I'd like to say thank you for being here at such a time as this to be part of what we are sharing. Um, Indicate in the comment box if you can hear me very loud and clear. And more importantly, you can also let us know where you are joining us from. This moment, I want to speak to everybody that will get to see this message on what I believe will help a lot of people, especially as touching the revolution that is upon us. And for your information, when I mean revolution, I'm not talking about, you know, usurping of power from or insurrection. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the same thing that is everywhere now, AI revolution, artificial intelligence. And today, I'm not speaking to you as a tech savvy. I'm not speaking to you as, maybe somebody who is, I'm not that kind of person. So I'm not a tech professional, but I feel the weight of certain responsibility to give perspective to my people and as many that can be blessed by this. Let me first tell you what is leading me to teach this thing. In the year 2020 or 2021, okay, no, it was in January 2022. That was 4 years ago and maybe 2 months now. I was in the city of Ibadan in Nigeria. Then I was invited to attend a program. I wasn't there to speak. I was there to attend, and the program was hosted by the amazing man of God, God's Will Oil. They had different guest speakers because it was not a religious meeting. It was supposed to be for entrepreneurs. They called that summit uh, Kingdom Premium or something like that. But the amazing thing was that they invited a great speaker among other people that came. His name is Olakunle Soriyan, popularly known as PK. He lives in the United States here. And that was the first time I saw him in my life. I've heard about him, one of my very close friends is like a mentee to him. So I've heard about him on many levels. But that was the first day I was going to see him. As a matter of fact, that was the first day, apart from a speech he gave at Tincation when this amazing speaker that is late now, when he was still alive. So that speech went viral. That's what I'm talking about. How do I forget? The man that used to host Tincation, the people in Nigeria, you know who I'm talking about. I'm seeing his picture now. The man, the chubby man, but I can't, his name is escaping my head. Anyway, so that was the first speech of the man that I ever saw, of Kunle Shorian. But this day I was there live, and he gave, as usual, a very powerful, teaching. But in the course of the teaching, he said a statement that really I didn't understand it very clearly. He speaks so with so much authority because he has it, no doubt. And that what he said was that by the eve of December 31st, 2030. I'm quoting him verbatim now. He said, by the night of December 31st, 2030, that the world as we have known it, the world as we have always known, will have disappeared completely. That so by the time we'll be waking up to January 1st, 2031, we'll be living in a new world. That blew me up. I mean, I didn't get it, to be honest with you. So I was wondering, what did what did it mean? So I wanted to capture what he meant by that statement. So I started thinking about it. So he gave a lot of speech around that, but to cut the long story short, for my findings now after 4 years, I can speak to you, even on all authority this time around, that that statement is a rescue mission. That statement in itself, I didn't say it's a statement of rescue. The statement is pregnant and it is a rescue mission. It is a rescue mission for as many who will run with it. But that's the thing. Because let me give you certain background. Please pay enough attention to what I'm talking about. While I was growing up in Nigeria, I saw some people who were looking like they were doing fine because they were really doing fine. But the kind of jobs they were doing, suddenly faded out. In Nigeria, you'll have heard about NITEL. I have friends, maybe one or two, whose parents were working with NITEL. And the moment that thing was out of the radar, some of these people, they have built career enough that they couldn't really survive in other sectors. So literally, the last achievement many of them had before there was a downsize or complete obliteration of their own, career was the last achievement they ever had. So the achievement, everything went down. You see that? I remember people who worked in what you used to call old railway. I mean, I know a lot of you are Gen Zs, so um, what other things can I bring up that you can understand? You can just relate with what I'm saying. The idea is that I've taught that also when I was teaching on strategic foresighting and all of that, that there is nothing on this earth that can be permanent. The moment the origin is man, it is meant to have expiry. It is meant to have expiry date. It is meant to have expiration. So listen, this is what I'm saying. The way those careers were effaced because of development and advancement, that is, those things were happening in trickles. One career will disappear, something else will replace it, there will be transition, then those who are smart will reinvent themselves and move, pivot to other things and all of that. I thought pivoting, you have that on this channel. But the whole of this that I'm telling you, they are not as serious as what AI is coming to do. Because historically, what we've been having um, has been that in a sector there is a new advancement, and of course, those who can't pivot or transited to, or transit, those who can't pivot or transit to the new one, we just failed out. That one has been happening. We are used to that. Any reasonable person who reads, that that's consistent. That's why a lot of companies will be training themselves so that even the old organization will not fall out of business. But what will make a high revolution to be so dangerous now, or what is making it dangerous, is that it is not just going to affect certain kind of jobs. It is not going to affect certain kind of sector. This one is gradually coming to take over everything. So this is the new world order that you've been hearing about. Those of you who study well, those of you who have been listening to futurists or listening to great speakers, that future they were telling you, that overhauling, that new normal they spoke to you about, this is it now. So it's true that we are going to see ourselves in a new world entirely. We are going to see ourselves in a completely different society. It's still going to be wherever you are or where you are moving to, you'll still be able to know that this used to be so community, this used to be this city. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying the way things are done will be different entirely. But I think you all know that, so I shouldn't bore you with what you're aware of. Then this consciousness now has not really been liberating to a lot of people. Not that they feel good that they are aware of what is coming, even though it's upon us, it's no longer coming, it's here with us, it's here upon us now. The challenge is that most people are in panic mode. They are really afraid. I talk with people. I live in the United States. I speak with fellow students, graduate students. I speak with younger folks. I relate with professionals. I relate with career people. I relate with people in academics and research. I relate with people also who are even doing, some of these factory jobs. Virtually everybody, apart from the mainstream tech guys now, virtually everybody is afraid that what's the hope of the future? What's the future of my career? What is the future of my engagement? What is the future of my vida and all of that? So that's what I'm using this medium to come and prepare you for. Is somebody excited about that? If you are really excited about that, type it in the comment box. Say, I'm excited to be here. And I'd like you to pay keen attention. Now, I'm not certain that this video will be available after now. So you may want to share this to as many individuals that you love to participate in this conversation. Whosoever you desire to hear of this development, you need to pay attention to them. Now, number one, if you are already a tech person, maybe you program, you develop applications, and all of those things, whatever it is that is mainstream tech, my conversation may not be able to advance you like that because you are already in the back end of this operation. And being at the back end, you understand some technicalities. But in spite of your technical know-how, you may want to listen to the vital know-how that I'm about to share. Okay? Because there is no doubt that this new world we are talking about, most people will regret their lives. That's normal. That is consistent with revolution. Whenever there is a new development, such that things shift to a new way, and that some people will be, the amazing Pastor Kunle would say, some people will be victim of change. But what exactly should you do, especially those of you who are not in mainstream tech? And if you are in the mainstream tech, sector, let me say this to you. And what I mean by mainstream tech is you do things that has to do with, programming, building applications, doing a lot of stuff that has to do directly, with IT, basically. You may also want to understand that there is no room for average performance, even in the future. So you want to go all out so that you won't be like people who know nothing about tech. That's just for you. But for people who are not in tech, what should you do? Should you continue to worry? Should you leave your career now? Should you resign from your work and go back to start learning how to code? No. Some people may need that, but that's not the first thing to do. What should you do? I call this strategic positioning for the AI revolution. This is it. There is this amazing gentleman in the United States. I read about him. He's a great guy, Peter Thiel. That was the guy that co-founded PayPal. Elon, the man of all people now, was also part of his team at Silicon Valley in the United States that time. These people, these are the real, these are the real change agents. Where we talk about, when you watch the documentary "Men That Build America," you will realize that those people you were watching, people that existed in history, America has been blessed that there is no dispensation you would not have their prototypes or their replicas. But that's a better word. There's no generation. That's why this civilization is not collapsing anytime soon. Now, I'm not God. I'm not saying it's not going to come down. I'm not saying it's going to come down, but I know it's going to take time before this is going to come down. So, yeah, that man was explaining something that when the traditional method of making payment was when you buy something, you either pay or you pay with your card, in America, credit card, debit card, or whatever card, or you drop cash where you need to drop cash. That was limiting the speed of transactions. And these people came around that if this is the way we'll continue to make payment, then there will not be easy access for people who are far away to be able to make online purchase and make payment without contact, contactless transactions this time around. That was what PayPal came to do. So all the way from Nigeria, you'll be able to buy things in America without leaving the chores of your house, and you'll pay for that thing the moment you have card. What do? You just need to, the company needs to, you know, be onboarded on PayPal platform, and you make payment with your own card, whatever is applicable in your territory. You'll be able to move the money through PayPal like the third party or host agent now, and move the money straight to the, to the seller. So they bridge the gap between every buyer and every seller through online transaction. That alone was a major revolution in business. And that was actually a technological advancement, to say the least. But listen, this is where I'm going, so that you know what to do. So as they did that, they realized that annually, when that thing was already functioning well, I mean PayPal, they realized some terrible guys, fraudsters who also who knew how to code and how to do some funny stuff at the back end. They plugged themselves into the stream of that transaction end to end. And that's what we were calling Yahoo and all of that back then in Nigeria. Online, online fraud, basically. And PayPal was losing over $23 million every year that time. $23 million loss, because some unscrupulous guys were stealing money, diverting funds, stealing from, at the back end, moving people's money and all of that. So they were trying to find out, how are we going to solve this problem? So they improved, I don't know those technical jargons, they improved their system to ensure that they will be able to take care of this thing that I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, all they were able to do was to detect the very maybe individual or personality who is stealing the money, yet they couldn't stop the theft. Do you get it now? They were able to optimize their system in a way that the system could pick where that fraud is taking place and probably whose account and all of that is going to an extent that a major terrible guy, that when I mean terrible guy, a major fraudster told them at PayPal that it doesn't matter how they develop this thing, he will still be able to hack into their system and steal people's money and even steal their own money. You see that? Those of you who live in Nigeria, several times people have hacked into bank, whatever, and they were able to take some funds out of those banks. It's not a Nigerian thing, it's a global thing. So when they continue to do that, look at that. The system, don't forget, was built and developed by man. There is no computer or any technology that will by itself emerge or by itself optimize. No, it's never going to happen. So there is no time human being will be needless in the grand scheme of things. That time will never come. That's my first point. Or this idea that, machines will take over from man. That's not true. Machines, technology will only take over from most men. It can't be everybody. Machine does not have a mind of its own. If it is acting like it has a mind of its own, no, it is because human beings programmed it to behave that way. So those who are programming that thing, you can't take them out. The machine cannot be wiser than those who program it. Now, don't let me get ahead of myself. So when they couldn't, they were trying to, they have identified that we have this problem with what we are building, How do we solve it? They couldn't make machine do that. So men had to come and meet themselves that this is the problem we have. How are we going to solve it? Then I can't remember the guy now among the team of Peter Thiel and all of that. The guy sat down and said, let's develop another code. Let's build up another program that will be able to, in real time, intercept, not just to later know that fraud has taken place, but in real time, we will be able to intercept every attempted wire fraud. That was what led to the building of this app. They call it Palantir, something like that. Palantir, Palantir. You may want to check that online. That was what led to that. Now, you can read about all these things on the internet to find out that Palantir was what now mitigated the different kind of frauds that were taking place on paper platform. Are you seeing that? Such that at a point, FBI had to link up with the developers of this new app to do a lot of stuff. Palantir went up to worth of billions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken, because later they were trying to give them credit that they were part of what led to locating Osama bin Laden. These are complicated matters, but you just be following me. The point is this: everything a machine is doing, no doubt, the moment machine can do what men can do, a single machine will apparently be able to do what many men combined can do at a time. So you will not need those men. But no time in history will a machine be able to do 100% what man can do. And that is the essence of our conversation. So like I said, those of you who may still be able to go do tech-related stuff, congrats, enroll on in that ASAP. You need to do that ASAP. But for those of you who are not in tech, what should you be focusing on now? What should you be focusing on now? And now I'm into my teaching, practically. Now I'm into my teaching. You need to be one of the following people. I've mentioned one, real mainstream tech guy. Number two, you need to be among those people doing things that tech cannot 100% do, or AI rather, let me be specific now, artificial intelligence cannot 100% do. If you live in advanced country, you will be receiving invitation every day to come and be among the people that will be teaching machine. That's what we call machine learning. Because they are teaching all these machines how to deal with data, how to interpret something. If something is coming this way, this is the best way to go by. Because machine is not emotional, including all your chat GPT, Grok, Manos, mention all of them. They are not, they are trained to act emotional as though you are relating with an human being. It is pure programming, and I'm not undermining it. So what should you do this time around? You should begin to build yourself in the area where machine cannot substitute for humanity. By implication, that exclude anything that has to do with too much of effort. All these doing web designing, I'm doing digital marketing, I'm doing photography, I'm doing videography, I'm doing you keep bringing them up. I'm doing what else? All these things that people do. a time will come, including teaching. Yeah, you heard me well. Including teaching, artificial intelligence will literally take over all of that. All these, I'm running a bookstore. I have a bookstore. Who will come to buy there? So things that has to do with we are applying so much effort more than intelligence, they will be out of the way. Secondly, things that are more like I'm applying intelligence, but that can be outsourced to a program, including this kind of talk I'm giving to you now. You can get an assistant online now through this artificial intelligence that if they program it well and feed it with my voice, my audio voice, after a while, it will be able not just to repeat my words, to begin to speak almost like I'm speaking. And what that means is in the future now, machines will be conducting counseling for people. Machines will be advising people. Office hours, people will be relating with artificial intelligence, not human being, and they will believe it's that man. But look at it. There is no machine that will be able to take the place of somebody whose voice everybody wants to come and hear. Do you know why? His voice is now what will be used to develop or program the machine through machine learning to act in a way. So, what are the things you should focus on? You should start focusing on how to be an authority that can be part of the contributors to what the machines will be producing, to what the machines will be programmed to give as a response when human being needs their assistance. Are you getting what I'm talking about? So this is not the time, especially for those of you who are full-blown adults. This is not the time for you to still be saying, I'm busy looking for what I want to do or know what to do. If you are a ministry person, yeah, ChatGPT will not come and conduct deliverance for people. Let me say AI generally. ChatGPT is just one of several. Okay? So you may have your way. But unfortunately, some careless preachers now even prepare their own sermon through ChatGPT. People are asking serious scriptural questions on artificial intelligence, generative AI this time around. But the idea is there are critical assignments there that people will still need human contact. Are you seeing that? So, but the idea is all the responses you are getting from generative AI, and AI is not all about generative alone. There are other aspects of AI. But whatever AI will be given in terms of service, let me focus on service because that's what you do in your career. It is human beings that will be supplying that. You may not be among the people teaching it through tech, but let your work be in a place where you can have credit for it. Now, this is I don't know how much of price to put on it, but what I just told you now will be liberating on many levels. That is for doers anyway, not for observers and people who are just one of the numbers. And I feel sad. I don't desire to have those kind of people on my live stream. But if you're that kind of person, just change, because it's a waste of time to speak to people who don't want to do anything with it. Is somebody getting what I'm talking about? So you need to now have a clear and defined path where you can quickly build a track record. What that means is you are doing a service, you are offering a service. Either you are offering a product or whatever in a way that people can trace to you. Now, don't let us talk about the number of people yet, but at least you now have a footprint. You now have a clearly defined task that people can trace to you that this is what you do. That's number one. That's number one. What that means is so that if you now take advantage of AI to optimize that thing, people will not feel like we never knew you with this thing. You are a fraud. Do you get that? That's the second thing. The third thing now is even in your career, I don't know whatever it is you are doing. At least, even if you are not into mainstream tech, can you right now, as we speak, begin to learn how you can partner with artificial intelligence? Can you begin to learn how you can use this one is not always contracting it out, how you can use AI for your service delivery so that you can have speed, higher coverage or reach and save cost. And those of you who are still doing free mode in everything you are doing, you are not part of this conversation. Come to this part of the world and see what people are building with their lives. You will be shocked. And what they plan for those in the third world nations is just that by the time we are done with everything, then they will now send to you the outdated version of what is current. You will now be teaching yourselves every now and then how to operate, master, and get used to that. Before you get used to that, they are already miles ahead of you. Because now what you are dealing with now, that's not what they are using. So you don't have access to what they are using while they are busy exploring and researching. By the time you will understand that, these ones, that those who are exposed among the underdogs will be saying, this is what they are using in this country. They will have left that one behind. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So it is what it is. I'm going to get there because some of you, what you need to do, part of the requirement for this revolution for you is to change your geography. You may be living in the wrong country. And let me quickly answer some of it. Let me clear some of your doubts. There is this undue exaggeration and grandiosity that a lot of religious people have about their countries, especially like my home country, Nigeria, where everybody is saying Nigeria is the arrowhead of God's revival. Please, I'm a preacher. I'm not just a believer. You get that? I understand the context of those statements. But you see, we are too funny. God didn't create Nigeria. That shouldn't be too big for you to understand. God didn't create Nigeria. God didn't create Ghana. Human beings settled in different countries at different time in history. God has been existing in eternity. So God created man. Man began to multiply, covering the earth. So the covering of the earth had prophetic backing. But the formation of countries and allocation of territorial integrity and borders and giving a name to country, God did nothing about that. Human beings did that. Which this is just what I'm trying to say. In the grand scheme of things, the entire world is what God is working with. So I said all of that to say, don't bind yourself to a specific location all because you are thinking that this is where it is happening now. And you can bind yourself to a location where it is happening. Yeah, let me correct that. Because you are more strategic, because you are seeing the trends of things and you are walking by the eyes of the Spirit. But don't bank on claims. When you see that a country, a territory, a city, an environment is not supporting the kind of destiny you carry, it is none of your business. Whatever they are saying about the weight of that country, it is not a weight for you. By weight, I mean strength, capacity now, enormosity of what that thing represents in the grand scheme of things. That your country is the arrowhead of God. Are you an arrowhead in the revival? So what are you doing there? If you have opportunity to step up. So a white man came to name Nigeria what Nigeria is. So don't stress yourself too much to say, yeah, that's it. That's enough. Okay. So you want to quickly begin to build a clear footprint that can be traced to you, which means you cannot afford to do anything now that is not connected to online. It doesn't matter who is backing you up. The moment you are still doing something now that is not connected to online, I mean, because some people may not be familiar with this joke, so it may look like I'm insulting you. It's a joke. Oh, let me say it forward. In Nigeria, there are memes that will say, 70 years old man, oh, you are a failure. You can never make it. Not you. It's those Instagram people. And those who are not from Africa, believe me, I was just talking about my people. Are you seeing that? So to say I don't do something online, you are a joke. You are not just a joker. You yourself, you are now the joke. That's it. So what's the point that I'm trying to bring your attention to this day? It is that you shouldn't worry the way everybody is worrying outside. Worry has never solved any problem. Anxiety has never set anybody free. Rather, it increases their bondage. It makes their pain, their predicament to become more grievous. There's no creativity in anxiety. Those who say, those who say they can work under pressure. What is going on that time? If that is what we are calling creativity, it means you have not tapped into the wealth of your creative potential. So all those things you are manifesting, it can still be called creativity, but that's not your ultimate creativity. That's your coping mechanism to do a lot within a short time. Are you seeing that? So you don't need to worry. You don't need to be anxious, but you don't need to sleep. Let me quickly speak to religious people. Everything will be fixed. You are kidding me. You are kidding yourself, not even me, by the way. Because sometimes, in an attempt to claim that we believe in God, we are not afraid of what is going on all over the world, we make the mistake of not preparing when we should prepare. Can I begin to show you scriptures that when trumpet is blown, when trumpet is what? Is blown. Those who know how to interpret it well, is somebody getting what I'm saying? They are the ones who will not be victim of the war. Because even if you're a warrior, if you don't hear the sound of the trumpet that is being blown by the watchers, that is those who are standing at the gate saying that our enemy is coming or not, you will be busy sleeping with all the armor that you carry. You will be killed. You will be killed. So that's why the Bible says, if trumpet does not make a distinct sound, how will the warriors know how to prepare themselves? Part of the sound is what we are, part of the alarm rather, is what we are blowing to you right now. It's what we are sounding. We are sounding the alarm. Somebody sounded it, I heard it, I went in search. So part of my answer, I can't give you all because I'm still searching too. But part of my answer that can lead those who are curious among you to go deeper is what I'm providing for you today. And somebody is going to thank me for this later. So to say, I don't know how God will come through. That sound like a word of faith. And that is even a word of faith. I don't know how that is only applicable to things that truthfully God has not supplied intelligence within your proximity to make happen. The moment He has provided intelligence around you, if you like, keep saying, I don't know how God is going to do it. What you are saying is that I choose to be irresponsible. God, in His faithfulness, will watch you suffer. Sometimes maybe you can even die. You're not the first person to die needless death. You're not the first person to be victim of circumstances. And some may even rise on the basis of your misfortune, not you, but I'm saying on the basis of someone else's misfortune, and start calling God that He doesn't exist and start calling Him names. That won't put Him under pressure to respond to those people. That is it. You know, I was teaching a Sunday school in a church, in a white church in America, where a lady, an African by the way, was asking me that sometimes why should we always pray before this God will answer? Why, since He's sovereign, is almighty, why does He just want me to massage His ego before we'll be able to do what He's going to do? I just told her a few stuff. That's it. I get it that we can be agitated about what is going on, but understand, first thing first, that your anger or misunderstanding is never going to change God. So the earlier the better for you to know how to architect your own balance around His constants. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So don't take the posture of, I may not know how. Only say that when truthfully there was no way for you to know how. If there is a way for you to know how, you will suffer. So let's come back now. So what should you do? You need to be online. I have said that. To be online as well, because somebody will say, but after all, I'm online, I'm watching you online now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should go and be on Facebook, on Instagram, and be watching videos morning, afternoon, evening, and night. No. Is that you must now find a way to digitalize your product and your service. Digitalize your product and your service. Digitalize your product and your service. And create a digital footprint. A digital footprint. If they type your name on Google and it brings only Facebook and Instagram account, you are not part of the beneficiary of this revolution. You are not part of them. Now, how to do that, I'm not going to say that to you. Oh, no, I didn't learn that for free. And if you can imagine the values I share for free, but I feel a lot of people don't take seriously some of the things. Anyway, okay. So you have to find out how to make that happen. You have to find out how to make that happen. Number 5, I don't know if I'm following the numbers well, whatever, but just get the idea. The chronology may not be whatever. Now, you now need a strong alliance that among your team members, especially if what you are doing in itself has a future. To understand that, you need my previous teaching, not this one. If what you are doing in itself has a future, then you cannot but have mainstream tech people among your team members. I'm not saying social media managers. So you need partnership now. Initially I said partner with computer, partner with artificial intelligence, partner with technology. This time around, beyond partnering with that, you now need direct collaboration, active collaboration, where you have a stake now, but in a circle among a team where you have mainstream tech people actively working with you. So when you think it, let there be not, your competitors, not those who don't understand your vision, but around you, those who can translate that into dimensions suitable for the new revolution. You see how it gets critical now? So maybe you're in ministry. Simple. You know, if you are not online, you don't know what you are doing. That does not mean your ministry is failing, because it just shows it depends. Because, and let's be very clear, not everybody will go to the ends of the earth. It is the gospel that should reach the end of the earth. And apparently, human beings are the agencies to move it onto the ends of the earth. So, no doubt, some people legitimately with prophetic backing will have to go to the end of the earth. Some people will have to be in the villages too. And not that they offended God. So, the idea is find out what He has cut out for you and stick to it with Jesus' joy. But if He wants you to go to the ends of the earth and you say, I want to remain in my Jerusalem, by the way, it's your choice. So whatever it is you are doing, you have to come up to, Dr. Sam Adeyemi. It was him one day I heard positioning. I've studied into positioning, I've reading about it, and, I conceptualized some things. But I don't know who is the originator of that definition, but it defined positioning as your ability to see opportunities, your ability to stand where you can see opportunities and where opportunities can see you. So, we are talking about the strategic posturing for this AI revolution. At least at the basic level, know how AI can change the dynamics of your feed. You may not even know how to operate or engage the AI yet, but you should be curious enough to find out how will AI change the narrative there. Let me speak to those in academics. AI will not come to do those lab work. A couple of days ago, I met a very fantastic professor. The man is a University of Washington. That's where the man is a professor. Dr. Joshua Swidas or Swamidas. You can Google that name. He did computer science, later did biomedical science, and combined everything together. He was in academics, worked with the industry, and at the same time, this man is now building models that can do drug prediction using artificial intelligence. So myself and my colleague, we went to there's a major center, high performance computing laboratory on our campus, where there were what we call supercomputers. The 13th biggest supercomputer in the whole of America is on my campus. Is that not amazing? Is it 13th or 7th? I can't remember. So we were seeing all these, oh goodness, come and see computers in rooms. Your laptop is not a computer, man. It is, but I'm just messing with you, but you get what I'm saying. So when we got to the plenary session, we were engaging with this man, and he was telling us some things. Apparently, AI will not come to take over your lab experiment, but it's going to render certain kind of experiment needless. So even though experiments will still be performed, if your own technical know-how in terms of experimental conduct now are the things that AI will render needless, it means you as an individual, ultimately and consequentially, you will become needless. Not because your career is completely taken off, but because the aspect you know there is the aspect that can be done without. So you need to be curious about that. Then when you identify that through your curiosity, what should you do? You build structure for knowledge in a countermeasure. Do you even understand what I'm saying? Let me be clear that you guys are getting what I'm talking about. So this is not the time where you say now that my next line of business is that I want to um, I want to be buying. What is coming to my mind if I say it now? Because one of my mentees, he would think I'm getting at him. So I was I was I was sorting something out with him not too long ago. So it will look like let me leave that. Let me leave that. Are you getting what I'm saying? So all your ideas and all of that now, you have to start looking at how to take it into the future. And if that is beyond you, you need to do everything within your means to get in close proximity with mainstream people who can dimension that idea into what is suitable so that you can still have a stake in the so-called major activity that AI will be gaining mastery over in years to come. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? Somebody get what I'm talking about? So this is just a tip of the iceberg. Let me make this announcement here. I now do exclusive. I've done mentorship for 7 years now, 2019 to now. So, but now I do exclusive closed door engagement with visionaries, those that can work with things, some of the things that I didn't know earlier, or things that I knew, but I couldn't get the I couldn't hold the ground enough to use them, or some that I've used and tested time and again. I'm saying things that are not just out there, that I've studied, that even great people, oh no, they give you the measure you can work with. So now I teach that kind of closed door meeting. And if you want to be part of that, you can send me a DM. No, not me. Send Gabriel a DM. Gabriel, you can drop your any means they can use to reach you. Then try to first join our WhatsApp platform. If you join that, you'll be able to see what is going on there. Okay? So that said, as I'm about to conclude tonight, let me say this to you. You know, AI or no AI, build yourself, be it in your skills, your technical skill, and your intelligence combined such that at best, that machine will be able to do a lot within a short time compared to you. Sorry, you are not competing with machine. You can't do you human beings. We are not even designed to process big data. when I go to that supercomputer, I said, if you put this on any man's brain, the brain will shut down. But don't forget, human beings developed the models that thing is using to work. That's exactly how machine is done. It's simple. Can you run and cover the distance that a car can cover? To start with, they cannot talk of an aeroplane. But human being built that. You get it now. But the idea is this: all those things that machine will be doing, as they will be bringing solution to certain things, there will now be other gaps. I didn't say problem that will be created alongside. So part of your future relevance will not just be to keep shouting about this is what AI can do now, but to look at now that AI is doing this, what is being left undone, and pitch around those things. And pitch around those things. So build yourself that when AI, like I said, AI will be able to deal with a lot of data, but it will not be able to create solution beyond what is programmed into it. So when they now need further data to feed the machine, be among the providers of the data. That one is a symposium topic now. To be among the provider of the data they will use to feed the machine. That can be dimensioned to any aspect by short it here. Once again, if this has been a great time for you, let us know. And if you disagree with what we are saying too, feel free to do so. You don't even need to reach out to me on this subject. Other subject, I can take that. If you disagree with what I've said, yeah, you're on point. Yeah. Please take care of yourself. I salute you all. One love. Bye for now.